Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, fellow patriots. You're listening to the Kevin Jackson Show on KJRadio.com. I am your guest host, Liz Matory, today. Thank you so much for being so awesome. Honestly, I've only joined this fight 2 years ago. 2-3 years ago, when I started to see the light, if you will. I began to think for myself. All these different sort of catchphrases that I remember hearing, for the first time over the last few years. I'm like, why do people keep on saying that? Why do they keep on saying, oh, think for yourself, or, oh, you're being really brave, or, it's absolutely fascinating to be on this side of things. Go back to it. This is what we really need to do. We now know what we know. We need to share it in every single ability, capacity, opportunity, regardless of how we think we are going to be received. Obviously, you want to be, cordial, and you want to be offensive and all that stuff. But shoot, if you're just by virtue of you being who you are without even saying a word, you being an American who chooses an alternative party, which is the other dominant party, how, I was going to say stupid, but how ridiculous is all the stuff that's happening now? So all the more reason, now or never, we got to stand up and speak up for our principles. All of us. We need all of us to be counted, if you will. This is the time where we can't hide. We cannot sort of shy away from the movement or again, our patriotism, because that's what they want. That's the reason why they ridicule us. That's the reason why they bully us. Before I get to the Me Too conversation, because I guess we need to talk about it, and I don't mind, giving my 2 cents, 3 cents, or what have you. So this, transition, this rebirth that I'm going through in the last couple of years, there are a lot of words that I really hadn't heard of, or, that they exist, but they're thrown around now, all the time. And so one of those words that I kind of wanted to look at, because it's being used a lot in the last couple of years, is the word bigot. That word literally got reborn over the last 2 years, and it's kind of creepy that people are using it again. But yeah, bigot, B-I-G-O-T, right? So I went, in the fanciness of the internet, looked at, Merriam-Webster. I think that's the first, dictionary, tool that popped up. I looked it up. So this is the definition of the word bigot, the favorite word of the left, one of the favorite words of the left. Quote, a person who is a person who is intolerantly devoted to his or her own opinions and prejudices, especially one who regards or treats the members of a group, racial/ethnic normally, with hatred or intolerance. Bigotry is intolerant devotion to one's own opinions and prejudice or state of mind. I think that deserves repeating again, because I like to read through it and kind of think while I read through this definition, and you think of the definition of the word bigot, who do you think does that describe? I'm just asking. I'm not going to say it because, it is what it is. It's kind of blatant. I'm just going to give you the definition, and you put 2 and 2 together, okay? So the definition, according to Merriam-Webster, of the word bigot is a person who is intolerantly devoted to his or her own opinions and prejudices, especially one who regards or treats the members of a group with hatred or intolerance. Bigotry is the intolerant devotion to one's own opinions and prejudices, a state of mind. I also wanted to look up the word that I wanted to figure out what I was witnessing. And the word that popped into my head was the word hypocrisy. So let's see what Merriam-Webster says hypocrisy means. Hypocrisy: behavior that contradicts what one claims to believe or feel. A hypocrite is a person who puts on a false appearance of virtue. Virtue signaling. I did not look that term up, but that is used a lot, and we are sort of seeing that play out in real time. And maybe that's kind of like where we should go back to the Me Too conversation. So with the term hypocrisy and hypocrite, a person who puts on a false appearance of virtue, let's talk about the Me Too stuff. Okay. We already, for the last hour, have been talking about the use of events to be able to galvanize public opinion in order to create a certain agenda-driven concept, to get individuals to, craft the way that they think in a very sort of subliminal way for them to do something that the people who are trying to control it, for those people to control the others, right? So if you say you want to deflect sort of something that happened in 2016, you put all your ducks and all your millions of dollars into an outcome that did not exist, and everything was surrounded by gender or, women or what have you, knowing that women are actually half of the population, and a bunch of them voted for the person that you didn't expect them to vote for. So what do you do when you lose? You blank and complain about it, yes, and you create a fabricated resistance movement to, again, galvanize said support in order to take away from or change the outcome. You can't change the outcome of an election, but I guess you can, according to some folks, but it is what it is. I digress. So you create events. Unfortunately, this hashtag #MeToo movement, just like it was with the Women's March, just like which it was with, the shootings, unfortunately, all these things are events in order to create something, not to address something. I got to take a quick break for, the little breaks that we have to take during these sessions, but in the last several, minutes, we are going to discuss how the Me Too movement is another use of an event to push an agenda, and one of the agendas is to oust our president. Again, thank you so much for checking in and checking out this guest host of yours. One of my former friends, one of my advisors when I was making the transition over from independent to Republican, he would say, Liz, you're just one person. What sort of difference do you think you're ever going to make? And that's the great thing about the time we're in now. We all can contribute in some way, whether it's here, whether it's there, whether it's in your communities. We've got to speak up.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.